guy that everybody says, I dare you to watch Gary's videos, because I guess his real name is Gary. Oh, we've come to Inmendham, but before we watch Inmendham's video, we got to watch this call out video. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he called the fuck out of Inmendham.
Inmendham? What the fuck kind of name is that? Inmendham. I challenge you to a debate on your stupid antinatalist ideologies. In your videos, you come off sounding like a drunk fool, like the village drunk in an old Irish novel, like Hunter Thompson would say. Your philosophy is weak. Your arguments are weak. Life is great, despite the challenges. And quite frankly, I think that you're a coward and you won't come on here to debate me. I know you're a coward. That's why you have the ideology that you have. Somebody's calling me a coward because they said, Zubox won't debate this guy. This guy doesn't even use his real name. Inmendham? What the fuck does that mean? No wonder he fucking doesn't want to exist. He doesn't even want to be himself. Anyway, get that fucking old drunk on Zubox. We're going to debate. And Diane, too. I want a three-way debate. I want to get spit roasted by these fucking losers. Diane, Inmendham, Zubox. Now. Live.
That's so good. Good old prophet. Bring in the fire. Bring in the fire to Inmendham. All right, so we're going to watch our first Inmendham video. This is the guy. Everybody says, if you want to get into Efilism, you want to know about antinatalism, you got to go to Inmendham. Efilist. So we got a couple of his videos, and I think we might have to dive a little deeper into than what I've pulled up already. But this is all the way back from 2012. I mean, this guy has been out there preaching the good word of Efilism for a long time.
Yeah, response video to Pink Moon. And
now I try to look when I watch videos like this with people that are, I think, maybe schizophrenic or have problems. It's interesting to look at the background environments in which they live. This guy looks like he lives in a fucking bombed out shelter, probably somewhere up in the Appalachian Mountains. I mean, look at the ceiling on this. I mean, like, honestly, like, and this is no judgment. I can understand why maybe you feel this way, but brother, you gotta fucking, you gotta try. You can't just hang out and make YouTube videos all day. I know. Calm down, everybody. But you can't do that. But not if you want success.
on the subject of Efilist.
M. Duffy sees it right away. He says, laughing my ass off. Of course, exactly what I expected he would look like.
An explanation, because some people have complained that there's not a simple description of what it is to be antinatalist plus, or whatever you want to call it. Efilist.
See, Efilist, this is back when it started, back in like 2012. Antinatalist plus.
So yeah, it's just life spelled backwards. Just a way of saying I believe that there's something fundamentally broken in the natural mechanism, that it is unintelligent design, and that has a consequence. That unintelligent design means insufficient efficiency in the system, and it means that the product of the system, the living things, are likewise not likely to be efficiently functioning. That means they're taking, not on purpose, but just in function, consuming more than they produce, that they have nothing they can produce. So I've used terms like zero-sum game to describe life, because you're basically just stealing energy perpetually to replicate a molecule. And then overall, it's just 4 billion years of molecular modification. You're just modifying molecules, declaring a winner based on this crude.
See, this is like if you had nothing else in your life. You have nothing else in your life. You have nothing else going on to add or contribute. You're just an empty consumer. That's all you could ever hope to be. You're always going to take more than you produce, with ignoring everything else about life. And it's like I told you, Roberto, because I know you're going to be watching this, Roberto. This is not interesting. This is just as boring and just as pedantic and stupid as fucking Diane. because people like got on my case. They're like, "Oh, you watching these Diane videos? Oh, Diane, she's not a good ambassador for antinatalism. She's not a good. She doesn't understand it. She's kind of crazy." There's no fucking difference. There's no fucking difference at all. Trami says, "Is anti-Efilism misophilism just to use their own methods?" I think we should do that. I'm gonna put that in the video. Justin Ullman says Trump 2024 US. Prophet says he looks like he's about to tell Sarah she made him feel like a piece of shit. Oh my God. Justin says the salt must flow. Yeah, exactly. He looks like Miguel from Day of the Dead, on the edge, biting his dog tags and his St. Christopher medals, trying to tell her, don't give me the sedative. Don't give me the sedative. You make me feel like a piece of shit.
Standard of victory. And through that process, it acquires complexity, but the basic function is the same. The function is survival by any mechanism, any means possible. Whatever can happen, can happen. No umpires, no rules, no Marquis of Queensberry sophistication, just a blood sport, and for nothing. Nothing in the end, just a raised hand.
Yeah, there's no end game to nature, is what he's describing. He's saying there's no end game to nature, therefore, there is no end game to anything. Therefore, it is meaningless. Norman says, Edgelord of Edgelords. I think you nailed it there, buddy. Prophet says, just modifying molecules. Like, that isn't a cosmic fucking wonder in and of itself. Exactly. There's no respect or appreciation for any of this stuff. Trami says, and that will stop when we're dead, apparently. Well, that's the thing. Like, right, even if humans stop procreating, it doesn't actually stop existence. And maybe he'll get into this. This is when you get back to these fucking eugenicists, these environmentalists of days of yore. Fabian Huxley being one of them. Margaret Sanger being another, by the way. She was part of the Fabian Society. Is that they want to return to nature and have as little human beings in existence as possible. It's possible for that to happen. And of course, they get to be included. They get to be included and the people that exist in perpetuity because they're important. They're important. You're not. You're just a fucking scumbag. Trauma says, and that will stop when we're dead, apparently. Exactly. Hagbert says, this is the guy I thought looked like a refugee from Faster Pussycat due to a singing bathroom wall like 15 minutes ago.
And I win, you die, just to play it all over again. 2 more molecules enter, molecule leaves and gets, clonked over there.
This is the Big Daddy. This is the Big Daddy, guys. The guy that everybody says, I dare you. I dare you to watch Gary's videos, because I guess his real name is Gary. They doxed him in my comment section. But they're like, I dare you to watch these videos. I dare you to do it. I dare you to talk about Inmendham. What is the difference between this and everything else we've watched over the past 2 months? Nothing.
Head on his way out. There's no escaping the game. And it's a crude and stupid game, and so that's why life is spelled backwards, because it is contrary to anything progressive or there's no forward vision here. There's no place for the game to go. The only function our intelligence has is cleaning up the mess our biology makes. Our needs, desires, our addictions. It's consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, addiction. It's just a consuming for the sake of replicating a molecule, and we do it through cannibalizing our own sentient kind through a process of natural addictions. Built-in mechanisms that make us hungry for a carrot, and the carrot is synthetic. It's made out of contrived feelings of value, senses of value.
Yeah, isn't all of that a miracle? That we've all done these things to perpetuate our own species? We've literally become the masters of our reality, and we've fucking wrangled it from nature and made something of it. Nah, none of that matters, guys. None of that matters. Just molecules crashing together trying to survive. Don't worry about it. Trami says, like the revolutionary thinkers of Russia thought in the 1910s, will be the elite after the revolution. You know where they ended up? The gulags.
That have no real substance, that they're just there because they make us eat and procreate and do what's necessary to sustain the chemical composition, the variety of chemistry, the shape of a molecule, and that's it. And
See, when he talks in these terms, because people are like, most people think something like this would be very like deep, because he's talking to fucking lost morons. I hate to say that. I hate to put it in those terms. I'm not like snobby or elitist. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. But that's who he's talking to. He's talking to lost people. He's like the anti-Jordan Peterson. I brought Jordan Peterson up earlier, but like essentially, in terms of their worldview and what they're selling to people, he's like the anti-Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson would posit the idea that life is suffering and that's okay. That's okay, because suffering is just an integral part of existence, and what you get out of that suffering is up to you. This guy is just like, he likes to break it down into a molecular level. Like he's like some fucking biologist being like, well, it's just cruel. It's just fucking destruction and nothing else. Just this process of consuming and destroying and over and over and over again, without putting any types of projection of what like human accomplishment has meant through that process. Hagbard says, is he Peter Jordanson? I think so. I think he might be.
that's not good enough. That's the simple description. Is that it's an insufficient game, like tic-tac-toe. Once you're intelligent, it doesn't have any, it's no playability. It's a game for dumb things, and that's what life is. It's a game for dumb things. Smart things aren't going to find it graceful enough or fair enough or just enough or reasonable or sensible. You're going to find it
Because he's like positing that through the process of evolution, through the process of like gaining consciousness, that the only conclusion that can come from that is to not exist, to fucking just to self emulate, self immolate. There you go. I got the word. Sorry, I've had a couple drinks. Hagbard says we have pizza combos and Heineken. Cheer up.
expensive and futile and foolish, in that it can only satisfy perceptual value. There's no Martians and there's no Venusans and there's no Venisons or Plutonians or Moonicans or any of these other planets, and we don't miss any of those civilizations, just as our civilization would not be missed. It's only our attachment that makes it seem important. And
No, our attachment is what makes it important. We actually give life, existence, nature, everything, we give it meaning. And to just kind of hand wave that away, just to dismiss that, is so obnoxious. It's so fucking stupid. I think Norman hit it on the head here. Get a hooker, dude. get a blowjob, please. M. Duffy says, and dissecting at a molecular level doesn't make sense either. It doesn't actually mean anything. The entire philosophy contradicts itself. I agree. Travis says, I was with you until you said Heineken, Hagward. If I go German, I go Stella Artois. That's my pool beer. If I'm like on a hot summer day and I'm hanging out in the pool, one of the great joys of life that I have to suffer through an existence to get to have those small moments, I like to have a Stella Artois and float in the pool and read a book. It's beautiful.
it's just for that sake of a seemed perception that we impose all this wasted suffering, all these organisms that are existing in the slaughterhouse, that someday will pick the short straw and they'll meet their individual doom and the doom will just keep on. The straws will just keep being pulled, and our names will change, and our faces will change, but the stories will be the same. It'll be the same tragedy, the same stupid waste, the same jeopardy, the same screams, uh, for nothing, to accomplish nothing but to satisfy a notion in heads that says we need to be here.
Yeah, because only somebody as destitute and as depressed as Inmendham could possibly understand this. You see, he's already at the bottom. He sees the bottom of life. Therefore, everybody will end up there. Everybody will end up there. And there's no escaping it. There's no getting around it. You have no agency. There's nothing you can do to stop the incoming pain, the incoming destruction, the incoming death. So just let it go. Just embrace non-existence, bro. Hagbert says Heineken. At least it ain't Budweiser. Oh, you snooty motherfucker.
Nothing else. Just a notion in their head. Nothing real. We're not a tire on the universe's car. We're not anything that can be described as a functional device in terms of use or purpose or function. As stated, our intelligence only exists because it was a scheming tool, because it made us better at stealing star energy from other organisms.
Is that not an impressive feat? Is not the evolutionary process of human beings impressive to you? Like, cause he hardcore believes in evolution, like the evolutionary process, rather. And I think we're gonna watch I think the next video I have queued up. He talks about that right off the bat. But is that not part of the process of life? And this kind of slow, lumbering, clumsy grappling towards meaning that human beings just innately do? That we all just innately are doing that. We're all crawling and stumbling and fumbling and trying to find meaning in something. Sorry it didn't work out for you, dude. Sorry, Gary. Tarami says stealing star energy is the fucking quote of the night. I know. I gotta remember that one because I'm getting my wife to make some t-shirts, some Zoobox t-shirts, and some Zoobox hats and stuff. She's gonna design it. My wife's a painter; she's an artist herself. So like, I that will be definitely a quote. We got to get like I got to get her to do her impressionistic painting of Inmendham, and we'll put it on a t-shirt saying "Stole Star Energy, Wanted."
The reason why it exists, and it still remains its only function, is to be used as a scheming tool to derive gratification or satisfaction of our selfish individual desires. And most of the human race is completely still owned by that nonsense. They still are more obedient to the notions of nepotism, family superiority, nationalism, racism, than they are devoted to any high-minded ideal of civilization or decency or justice or fairness.
Guys, it's not perfect. Things aren't perfect. People aren't perfect. So just give up. As if it's not a process. If it's not like this kind of iterative process of existence where every cycle is different than the last. What a fucking dipshit. This is Roberto. Roberto, I know you're going to watch this, Roberto. This is the guy. This is your guy. This is your fucking pocket ace. Give me a break, dude. Norman says, I will buy that tea. I will too. I'll have to.
Life is a sad and tragic story in nature, and humanity has done nothing to write a better chapter in the life book. We've disgraced our intelligence, insulted it, brutalized it, perverted it to sick and depraved purposes. And it's all over our culture, all over our economic systems, all over our entertainment. We are American Idol. at the core. We're just crass and stupid and superficial. And
But somebody as smart as you, Inmendham, somebody as perceptive of you as you could start a movement to change that. You could be an agent for change. You could be an agent for change instead of wallowing and depression and self-loathing. I know it's tough in that place you're at. Holy shit. I mean, look at the door. Is that a face? Does he have a lion painted on the door here? Am I just seeing things as like a person seeing a face in a cloud?
yeah, grotesque. And it's for all, and again, it's at this price of the suffering. I mean, I could go on. You go on for the suffering forever. You could explain and describe the horrible death that will meet, that will be the fate of most living sentient creatures. There will be a last gasp, and there won't be any fun. There will be a long, hard, nasty, ugly road to that last breath.
So what is okay? So he's making observations, like he's making observations about that humanity may destroy itself. It's an inevitability that humanity will destroy itself, which is it's possible. Sure, it's possible, especially when you have people like Inmendham out there. But like, so what is the solution? What is Efilism? What does it provide other than an observation? I'm curious if he's going to get into that. Like, does it provide something deeper and more substantial than just observing his perception on reality? Is there an answer? Like, what else should you do? Should we just nuke it? Should we just destroy ourselves? M. Duffy says, get this man some titties. I agree. Trauma says, that sounds like a lot of work. And then Hagbard says, or it may make hoverboards that would be cool as shit. Exactly. And holographic movie billboards that come out and try to bite you for Jaws 7.
And as long as people aren't in that sinking boat at the moment, they're just going to party and pretend they're all yachting, even though they're on the Titanic. And the truth is written everywhere, if they'll open their eyes and look at it, that they're on a boat that's going to sink.
And
yeah, they should do something, to protect the women and children first. They should get them.
So what is that something? Death cult alert, everybody. What is that something? What should you do to protect yourself from inevitable destruction?
Them off the boat. Quit playing games with the welfare of sentient creatures to accomplish nothing but sail on a stupid boat around in a stupid circle of stupid life. All that kind of crap. So anyway, that's my definition of Efilism. It's really just the consequences of unintelligent design. The fact that there is no God means there is no wisdom in creation. It's just a byproduct of the complexification.
And if it's an unintelligent design, how does that necessitate that it doesn't mean anything? It just doesn't mean anything to him, basically. Big Paul said, that sounded like my 7-year-old. Yeah, it's a very just childish, pedantic point of view. I mean, granted, listen, in fairness to Inmendham here, he looks like he smells like cat pee. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if he does, but he definitely looks like the type of dude that smells like cat pee. Maybe I'll call him Mr. Cat Pee from now on. That's just his life. It's just projection. It's the same thing you see with every antinatalist and apparently every Efilist. It's just projection. They don't like their lives. Shit is hard. There's no broader meaning to them, because if the stories aren't true, if God isn't real, if there's no magic, if there's no divine, if there's no spiritual quality to existence, then what's the point? What are you working towards? What are you working towards other than your own selfish need to exist and to propagate the species, to proliferate your bloodline, your legacy. Goodness gracious. Trauma says, and why does it have to mean anything? Exactly my point. And Normans agrees. He says, true.
Condensation of matter. We are we are an infestation on a planet and little else.
He's like Agent Smith from the Matrix. Like, you're a virus.
Just very fancy. We're a very fancy mold, but that's still all we are. We just still are playing the same game a mold is playing. And it's a dumb game. Expensive. Anyway, probably longer than I should have made this video. But anyway, that's what it is there. It's done. A little selling. I'm just a little sick of the whole. Yeah, really is.
He's just sick of being alive. I hear you, buddy. I can see that. Norman's also says, speak for yourself, dude.
Just so obvious. And really, people are so far from taking any responsibility for dealing with what reality is. The crudeness of every mechanism inside of you, the mechanisms right now, the little chemical machines maintaining your cells and maintaining the chromosomes in those cells. Tremendous company.
Yeah, but see, he thinks like this makes him super smart, super touched, super plugged in. Oh, Duffy says, see, the problem I have with him is that if there is no meaning, then we're not an infestation either. Logical deduction concludes we would be nothing. He just hates himself. I think you nailed it, buddy. I think M. Duffy, 1776, I think you nailed it.
Complexity. And all for a stupid purpose. To make a machine that goes into an arena and fights with other machines. To simply say, I win. And then die.
It's like a dude who spent way too much time reading science fiction novels and that like informed his worldview, like philosophically minded science fiction, like, you know, like Isaac Asimov or something. Like, what does it mean to exist? And what is sentience? And what are we creating? And blah, 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 blah. And then he just took it so literally. It just got stuck in that big caveman head of his.
Its sons and daughters can play the same game all over again. It's insidious. Anyway, so until next time.
Yeah, because guys, listen, nothing has ever gotten better. Nothing has ever gotten better for humanity since creation. Nothing has ever changed. Nothing has ever changed. Let me tell you something, Roberto. Guy in my comment section, you are a fucking moron. If this is your hero, this is your king, you're a fucking idiot. I said it. Okay, Roberto? Here's your Inmendham video.